Hello everyone, welcome to your Hot Girl Summer Hit. We're gonna do upper body. So I'm gonna show you the moves, then we're gonna get started, and then I am going to riff about emotions and meanings because emotions are chemical, vibrational, and they are storytellers. So we're gonna talk about the storytelling aspect of them and the meanings that they create. And then I'm gonna invite you to two wonderful things. So let me share with you what we're gonna be doing today. We just have 3 exercises, and so the first one is going to be a bent over row. So you're going to have your feet hip distance apart. Ladies, your hips are not as wide as your hips are, at the side of your hips. They are where your hip flexor is, and your hip flexor is where your leg rises. So that's actually your hip distance apart. So they're pretty close together. What you're going to do is keep your shins from ankle to knee nice and straight, hinge at your hips, try to get your back parallel to the floor, and then you're just going to row. So we're going to be here for 30 seconds. You want to keep your spine long, abs tight, sit back into your heels, look at the floor so that you don't strain your neck, and we're going to do that for 30 seconds, and then we'll have 30 seconds off. The next exercise is going to be an overhead press. With the overhead press, I did shoulders today, so these 10-pounders are just enough for me. I might be able to get one set in with the 20s, but when you do your overhead press, I want you to notice that I have a V shape. So I'm just letting the weights sit in the natural position of the shoulder. I'm not forcing them out to the side, and I'm also not keeping them narrow. And so you kind of look like a V shape. Let me see if I can bend over. That's what you look like if you had a mirror overhead. So we're gonna do 30 seconds of overhead press. Then we're also going to do 30 seconds of a push-up. Now, because this is 9 minutes, because this is high intensity, I'm gonna do my push-ups on the knees. You can do them on your toes if you want, as long as you stay stiff as a board, light as a feather. You do not want to be all loosey-goosey like a worm when you're doing push-ups. So if you're going to do them on your knees, the best way to set yourself up is if you put yourself squarely on all fours, so your knees are under your hips and your hands are under your shoulders, and then look at where the tip of your middle finger is, and then put the heel of your hand where that tip was. Then you're going to hinge forward at the hips so that from knee to hip, shoulder to ear is all in a straight line. Then you're just going to take yourself down and up. And when you do a push-up, it's similar to the overhead press. We're just going to let your arms go where they naturally fall. So you're not going to push your elbows out to the side, and you're not going to tuck. Out to the side kind of puts more strain on the shoulder, and a lot of times that makes us think we're doing more of a workout, but really this is a pretty small joint that you actually might be tearing in the wrong way. Not a muscle building way, but a tendon tearing way. And then when we tuck the elbows into our side, we're focusing more on the tricep, which is fine, but what we're doing here just to get these things done is really just going for like mass muscle recruitment so that we can take advantage of what HIIT is all about. And HIIT is all about burning fat, preserving muscle, and having an intense enough work period for a short amount of time so that we raise our metabolism for a few days after. So we're gonna go for the rows first in 5, 4, 3, 2, and go. Grab your weight. 30 seconds of work right here. I like to pretend that I'm pulling my arm bones up to the ceiling, or in this case, up to the sky, because I find that if we think about our hand, we won't really recruit the right muscles. And if we think about just pulling our hand up, our shoulder might roll forward. We don't want to have our shoulders rolled forward. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. We got 30 seconds off. Next one is overhead press. Yay! Yes, again, yeah, yay. 𝗣𝗪𝗪 says it was a killer workout and she's gonna do it again this week. Awesome. So if you haven't made it to my YouTube channel, these are edited and they're on a playlist called Hot Girl Summer Hits. Grab your weights for overhead press in 5, 4, bring them up to your shoulders. Let's go. Just rep them out. So if you pick a weight that's kind of too light, you can always do partials. You see how I'm only coming to my ear? That way it's going to keep more tension on the muscle, and time under tension is what builds our muscle. I got to bring my 15s because I'm kind of in between the 10 and the 20. In 4, 3, 2, and relax. Next up is the push-up. I think I'm gonna have to do the 20s for the overhead press because that was like a really long rest period. It was not challenging enough. We got 10 more seconds to rest. So remember, if you're doing knees, get yourself to all fours, look at where your middle finger is, move the heel of the hand forward, hinge, and go. 30 seconds right here. Just down and up. Now I've got everything pretty relaxed, except for my chest muscles and my arms. You want to keep your core tight and your hips kind of forward. Don't let your butt go up to the ceiling, but also don't drop down like a hammock. You want to stay in that diagonal. In 3, in 2, relax. That was already one round. So easy. We are incredible. Remember, if you've watched the other videos, positive neural chunking. We are going to think positive while we're doing challenging things. Almost there. 10. Get ready. In 5, 4, 3, 2, flat back, rep them out. So I'm really feeling that work around my armpit. Woo! Yes, so good. We got it. I'm keeping tension on my arm. I'm not letting my elbows straighten all the way. I'm not letting my shoulders fall away into a stretch. Time under tension builds the muscle. 3, 2, relax. 30 seconds off. So I'm gonna go to overhead press with those. I'm gonna get my 35s for the rows on the last one. This is really what was missing for me. I forgot about my 35s. In 3, in 2, we're at overhead press. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Here we go. So, so good. So keep your chest lifted. Keep your abs tight. I love the way the weight feels in the heel of my hand. And all of that energy and force just goes right into my shoulders. Done. That was 30 seconds. So good. We're ready for the push-ups. We got 30 seconds off. Easy peasy. Woo! Get ready. In 5, I'm gonna see what I can do. Oh, I don't think I can. And then go. Oh yeah. Knee push-ups are just fine. You should never feel bad about doing knee push-ups because you know what? You're moving 3/4 of your body weight with your chest and your arm muscles. That is hard. We got it. We're under 10 seconds. Push all of your fingers and your thumbs into the floor and rest. We're already almost done. This is the most incredible thing about HIIT. It's like even when you get started, you're already almost done. So good. Rows are up next. I'll move them. I'll move them. Let's come over here. Yes. So, so good. Oh, let me see the time. In 5, 3, 2, Let's go. Oh yeah, way better. There's some effort. Yes. So these ones you can see, I am straightening my arms all the way. I am letting my shoulders kind of stretch away from my spine a little bit because these are really heavy. This is really hard for me to hold tension on the muscles the whole time. Woo! We got this. Oh, that was already 30 seconds. We are so incredible. Hi, Hanny. Oh my God. 20 seconds. We got it. The girls are here. The girls are here. This is very exciting. What are we doing next? We got overhead press. I'm gonna go back down to the lighter weights in 3, 2, let's go. Abs tight. Remember, we can do those partials if they're not quite heavy enough. But I think honestly, it would be unsafe if I stayed with the 20s because I'm already pretty tired already, this muscle group, from my shoulder workout. So don't be afraid to change weights. In 4, 3, 2, 1. That was it. We got one more of push-ups. And then we're already done. God, this went by really fast. Almost too fast. We're about halfway through our rest. We got it. Get ready. In 3, 2, let's go. Oh my God. Yes. Woo. We got it. 20 more seconds. Give it all you got. Keep your abs tight. Keep your head in alignment with the rest of your back. You don't want to have your head drop down into the mat if your chest is still kind of lifted. That was it. Okay, so like I said in the beginning of this live stream, emotions have 3 parts to them. They are chemical and vibrational, and they tell stories. So the story part of it is the meaning we make of the sensation of an emotion in our body. In short, we call that a feeling. So an emotion is the level of vibration. It is the level of awareness you can receive. So if you think about back in the day, I don't know if you remember this, but we had TVs that you had to turn with the dial, and sometimes they would be full of static. So you would kind of have to like fine tune and like take your hand off real quick when you got a clearer picture that had less of the fuzz. Like there was like black and white fuzziness. So that's kind of how an emotion is. If you think about it, it'll be like the higher the emotion, love, joy, appreciation, kindness, care, the clearer the picture. The denser the emotion, sadness, depression, guilt, shame, indifference, fear, the more muddled the picture is going to be. And that's really how your brain waves work. When you're in a high vibration, your brain and your heart recognize that as it's calm, it's peaceful, there's no predators. So your brain waves literally slow down and you can think creatively. It's when you're in the flow. But if you're under stress, to the nervous system, we call it threat in the fitness community. When you're under stress, if it's like from work or from your partner or from your kids or from your parents or like whatever, stress to the body makes the brain waves shorter and faster, and you don't have a clearer picture. You're so focused on the point of stress that you miss everything else outside of that parameter of stress. And then that's where our lives really start to fall apart, because we don't have the creative openness to make any like significant changes that push our life in the direction that we want. So an emotion is a way for us to be and to function. The feeling is the meaning we give it. So the meaning is like the most incredible part of being human, because those are our memories, and this is why we like to make memories and do videos and take pictures and all that kind of stuff, and like go on vacations and do things with people, because we want to create memories so that when we're old we can like look back on a life that was well lived. However, the flip side of that is that, okay, wait, so that's great, right? We have that. You have that in your brain. So we get to create memories so that we have something delightful to look back at. We store emotion, happy emotions and sad emotions, unconsciously. So the person who you know that's generally always in a good mood, that doesn't have a short fuse, they are unconsciously happy, right? They're unconsciously in a creative flow. It's just who they be. They're in a higher vibration. Now, that's not to say this happy person could have chronic illness and disease, which also, on the flip side of this, because it's convoluted, that person does have unconscious degenerative molecules of emotion. And a lot of times we find ourselves talking about these people of like, you know, how did it happen to such a good person? How did they get it? You know, it's part of the unconscious system. That was a little bit tangenty. So back to the meaning part of it. Part of being a human is to create these marvelous experiences so that we can enjoy being alive, right? Because like everything here, everything in the universe is alive. Everything has life force energy, atoms flowing through it. There's just no other way around it. Everything has energy, so everything is alive. So the purpose is to experience what it is to be alive and to be more alive, to grow. So some of us, species-wise, we make more of our species, right? So we want to reproduce, we want to create. That's the whole thing, right? So in order to do that, to be able to thrive and live and reproduce, we have to know how to survive. So the negative emotions on the primal level is just about staying alive. To say, don't put your hand on the stove, it's going to burn you. So it's actions, and it's also when we do something or we interact with a person or a situation. So if when we're growing from that 0 to 7 age and we have experiences with a person or with a situation, an environment, or a theme, anything, religion, government, politics, money, school, you know, travel, like anything in life that we experience that has something negative that goes with it, to the physical body, that stored memory is so that when you are in the vicinity of something similar to that experience, all your nervous system alarm bells go off so that you know to get out of there, so that you stay alive, so you stay away from that. It's kind of like when you put magnets, when you try to press magnets together, they repulse off of each other, they repel each other. So it's kind of like these negative emotions that are stored in your body, when they go around something that is similar to the experience that when you very first had that emotion arise in your body, it's like your system goes off and is like, no, 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 don't go there. So we have this trigger reaction to get us out of there. But because we're not living under like actual physical threat where we're gonna always in like where, you know, people are getting run over by cars left and right, like that doesn't really happen because we have crosswalks and stoplights. We don't really have, you know, situations with wild animals that are gonna jump out of the bushes and eat you. We're not really facing anything that is a true life and death scenario. But to the body, stress still means life and death. And so because it's a primal fear that's mistranslated into our regular life, what actually happens is the meaning goes off in our head. And because it has to do with our body, because the experience is happening in our body, we do things to our body to get rid of that feeling. And so when we have that feeling, we have that negative emotion come up, and instead of us saying, oh my God, you're about to get hit by a car, retract, get out of the street, what the meaning of it is I'm not good enough, I suck, I'm a failure, nothing's working for me, I'm, you know, you know, whatever, I'm not being picked, like whatever it is. And so to get rid of the feeling, usually what we do is we eat, so that we can suppress those emotions and we can release dopamine and like cuddle hormones when we eat to get rid of that feeling. And so this meaning that we have is what our brain has meant about these emotions. So what happens is, if you like, I don't want to be like too personal and like give it away. Yeah, I can't get into that. So basically, I want you to think of the times when you feel like crap, and like whatever emotion it is that you're feeling. Like if you feel, if someone, yeah, I don't want to, if you feel guilty or shame or sadness, or you feel disappointed in yourself, okay, disappointed. If you feel disappointed in yourself because you ate a bunch of stuff over the holiday weekend, you need to, how you get out of this experience and how you start to process this emotion to change the meaning that you have about yourself, because the meaning that's attached to the emotion is what your self-image is. It's what you really perceive yourself as. So if you feel disappointed, if you feel the emotion of disappointment because you ate, quote unquote, too much over the weekend, what does disappointment mean to you? What are all the times that when you were 0 to 7, or at any age where there was a significant emotional event where somebody was disappointed in you, or you were disappointed in yourself for not making the cut? Then you have to go back to all of those experiences that you had so that you can do the inner work to release yourself from that meaning, to forgive a person who made you have the feeling of disappointment because you messed up, you made a mistake, and all the times that you have judged yourself for not being good enough, where you were so disappointed in yourself that then like you punished yourself. Because then when you can actually like notice the feelings that you have, that you feel a sense of sadness or disappointment, and you go back and you travel in time in your mind to all the times that you felt disappointed and the reasons why, and why you created meanings about your worth because of not quite making the grade, it's going through those things and forgiving those people and forgiving yourself that will allow you to turn disappointment into, like, the disappointment's still going to be there. You're still going to experience disappointment from time to time. And the memory that's associated with the disappointment is still going to be stored in your brain. The memory's not going to go away. But what will happen is when you're interacting with disappointment in any way, shape, or form, what will happen is you come to the table with compassion and love because you understand why it's there and what forgiveness is and what it is to have compassion for yourself or other people. So then what happens is disappointment becomes a thing like in your Rolodex or in your basket or in your purse of tools to allow you to keep raising your vibration and having that clearer picture. Because when I look back at all the times that I've been disappointed in myself or in other people, or the people who made me feel that I wasn't good enough and told me they were disappointed. Okay, so like check this out. So like my dad, when I broke ties with my dad when I was 11, for a whole year, from 11 years old, well, June, when I was, I turned 11 in March. I stopped talking to my dad in June of that year. For a whole year, he wrote me letters every month telling me how great his life is and how disappointed he was in me and what a terrible daughter I was. So for a whole year, after this huge traumatic breakup, he told me every month what a disappointment I was. So it's taken a long time to be able to release that and understand that there is no way my dad could have treated me the way he did. If he was healed, my dad would have never been able to treat me the way he did, but he's unhealed. And if I know how bad I felt from that, and then I know how I turned that around and lashed out at other people, that's how I'm able to forgive my dad and move on from it. So for me, disappointment is like, oh my God, no, there's nothing to be disappointed about. Like, this is the whole experience. And if you miss the mark, you don't even know who you are. Like, do you know what your chart says? Do you know what your natal chart says? Do you know what your human design says? You might not even energetically be a match for this thing that you're going through right now. You should have never even tried that. That's like totally not for you. Don't even worry about it. That's what disappointment becomes. It becomes excitement and like a code and like, what, here we go. Like, let's go do this. So that's kind of like what happens. So then, like, when you're living your life and disappointment happens, you don't turn to the refrigerator to ease your sensation of disappointment. You're just like, yeah, that fucking sucked. And then you move on. Okay, so that is it for what I wanted to share with you about emotions. And then I wanted to invite you to two things. So the very first thing is 𝗨𝗨𝗪𝗘𝗏 $1 a day membership. It's fantastic. You get all of your tools and you get a monthly coaching call with me. You go to 𝗨𝗪𝗪𝗘𝗏/𝗨𝗨 You get our Trainer Eyes app with step-by-step workouts that I keep adding to. You get a weekly body code where I take you into your physical body so that we can pull up emotions and transmute them. You get a monthly meditation. You get a weekly training in my Facebook group. The other thing that I want to share with you, I'm like dripping sweat. The other thing is I hosted Power Moves workshop on Saturday, July 1st, and I'm going to put the replay up on YouTube. I'm going to cite every single book that has helped me make this transformation so that you can do the work all on your own. The slides are so good. You can take screenshots, like all the things. If you want help going through this, if you want to do an integration with me, I'm going to run an integration program starting on August 1st. It's $111 right now, and it's going to go up the closer we get to August 1st and the more details that get released. So if you are like in my vibe, you're into like what I'm into, you feel like this would be a good thing for you to do, I would jump on it now because it is not going to stay at $111 for long. And that link is in my bio. It's 𝗨𝗪𝗪𝗘𝗏/, oh, I don't remember what it is. I think I had to do initials. Oh no, I don't even know. But go to the link in my bio or go to the description in the